So good to the inmates, not to the guards, as I'm reading between the lines there. Can I ask you just overall, knowing what you know about who they are, having guarded them, and now knowing what you know about this new evidence that's coming forward, that maybe they weren't telling a lie in their trials when they said their father raped them repeatedly and that this was them protecting themselves when they killed their parents. Do you have any feelings one way or the other about whether the men should be freed?
I don't have any feelings one way or another, right? Because through experience, I've learned no matter what I say or do, they're going to do whatever they want. And by that, I mean the state of California, right? I live in San Diego, so I've had enough. That's why I walked out of the California Department of Corrections, right? I don't want to participate in that no longer. So I'm aware of who they are. I watched them on the news growing up as a child. I was born in 1984. Wow. But I'm telling you, my totality of the circumstances and my interactions, my experience, it's unbiased, it's facts. Again, going back to the principal analogy, it's like you have a bad pupil, you don't want the worst for them, but it's kind of like, hey, if you're offering to give those kids honor roll, I'm not necessarily going to raise my hand to give those kids honor roll, but you're going to do what you want to do.
Inherently, do you think they were bad men coming in? I mean, I know you guarded Menendez brothers, you don't feel were anything more than manipulative or entitled, but do you think that they became the people they are in prison? They didn't come in that way? Or do you think that they were entitled, rich brats that killed their parents for the money?
That brings up a good question. So I did an interview yesterday, and somebody brought up the fact that they have no violence on their record, no jailhouse fights, no prison fights, rules violation reports. And that's accurate. That's accurate because certain type of inmates, again, through my experience, carry themselves differently in prison. For instance, people who victimize children and victimize women are very passive in prison. You know, they would be coming to me in a low-spoken, soft tone, and I couldn't stand it, right? Because I read their files. Rapists, child molesters, people who murder women, people who murder children. They feel the environment out. So they know they're in the big house. They're around lions. They're not going to push that envelope, right? They're going to pick and choose their targets.
So fascinating. Hector Bravo Ferrel, thank you so much for being on. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.